Hey friends, happy Friday. Welcome to our latest episode. We're going to talk about the single greatest thing that happened to me while I was building my business that I absolutely did not expect. So wonderful to have you here with us on Friday. It's our latest episode. If I've never met you before, my name's Tyler. I'm a mentor here at More Success and Significance. We're passionate about free enterprise and helping individuals have more significant choices and options in their life. So thanks again for tuning in. If you guys are watching this live, give me your favorite emoji. Would love to give you a call out, a shout out, say hi. It amazes me how many people are tuning in, and especially those that tune in later and watch the replay. So if you're watching the replay, definitely shoot me a comment below, hashtag replay, so I know when you're tuning in. Would love to engage with you guys. Thanks again for taking some time. I'm glad you guys are getting value out of all of this. So let's dive right in. So before we get started on the topic, I think it's important to understand some context from me and my story if you guys have never really heard that before or don't know me very well. So over the last 12 to 14 months, I have been fully 100% self-employed in our business enterprises. But that wasn't my story for very long, right? It's only been the last 12 to 14 months. Before that, I actually had a background in information technology, corporate IT, and I worked for a growing and a fast growth company that was headquartered here in Omaha, and then moved out to San Francisco. And I had a global remit. So I had teams that were responsible for the global operations, internet, and information systems across the world. And so I have to say, like in my mind, I was doing pretty well. Like, can you guys relate to that where you feel like you're doing well and things are going well, you're making maybe good income. And I have to say, in my mind, from what I was doing professionally, I was feeling pretty good. But that being said, if that mindset, as it was relating to then growing my business, didn't relate. It actually, I felt many times where I was not really equipped to run my businesses, to find out solutions and answers, because these were things that I had never done before. It was actually pretty separate from my workaday world, my professional world, and then you compare that to what I was doing in my businesses. Things were foreign, things were new, and I didn't always relate to that. So the single greatest thing that actually happened to me when I was going through my businesses is actually that I started to change how I thought about myself. And I didn't expect that to happen because I thought actually when I was starting my businesses, I was going in with some confidence. And then I quickly found out that I became not confident in some of the areas. And I started to get challenged both mentally, emotionally around what we were doing. And over the course of a few months and years, how I thought about myself really started to change. And it impacted everything that I was doing. And so there was an old saying, I wanted to share this with you, about change the way you think about the future to clarify your purpose, change the way you think about managing to achieve new results, change the way you think about others to increase your impact, but change the way you think about yourself to unlock your potential. And that's really the biggest difference that I found as I was starting to build my businesses, as I started to change the way I thought about myself, the expectations I had, my belief in myself, my potential and what I could do or what I thought I could do really started to increase. Like I said, if I was going to be 100% transparent with you, when I started my journey to my business and my enterprises, I didn't feel equipped to be successful right off the bat. I had confidence going in, but that quickly turned to not feeling confident and questioning and having some doubt about what I could really do. And so over the course, I guess, of the next months and years, even though that I felt like in a situation where I really didn't feel confident, I think the key that I had was belief that I could figure it out. I wasn't confident that I knew the solution, but I believed I could figure it out. And I think that was absolutely paramount in helping me to continue to find solutions and overcome them, and then ultimately be successful in those businesses. So how did this happen? And how could you potentially do some of the same things? Well, I was thinking about that, and I think there are really two things that happened to me that I took intention on that are some hacks that I think you could absolutely do as well and get to a place where you can start to change the way you're thinking and feeling about yourself. All right, so here we go. So the first one, or actually before we go in, to keep in mind that I think the biggest thing that we impact the way we think are words. Words that we're either kind of thinking to ourselves or words that we're hearing from other people. I've heard people say, and I think everyone knows that words can be rudders for us. They can be kind of the steering wheel. They can steer us in a direction, and then the conversations that we're having with ourselves and with other people can really give us trajectory, right? Those conversations can breathe life into us. They can put us on a trajectory that's either positive or negative. And that goes right into my 2 tips for you. So the first tip that I have is get around people that you admire. Write a list, and it doesn't have to be very long. Start with one, 2, 3 people that you really admire around you in your life, and get around them. Because I think what you're going to find is if you're able to either listen to them, hopefully you can talk to them, have a conversation, dialogue back and forth, that they're going to, you admire them, they're going to inspire you, and they're going to speak positive words to you. I've almost never been around somebody that I admired, had a conversation with them, and they told me that I couldn't do what I wanted to do, or I couldn't achieve what I want to achieve. Most of the people that are further along than I am or admire, they'll come back and they'll say, you can do it. I have confidence in you. I've been down that path. If I can do it, I'm just an average person. You can do it too. So that's my first tip. Get around people that you admire. Create a list of those people and get around them. Similarly, my second one, it's the opposite. I don't know about you, if you found yourself to be critical of yourself. I know times that I can be super critical, maybe even negative, worry, and doubt. And I think it's natural for people to do that. So much so natural that I think most of the people that we would be around, we find could be critical of us or critical of situations, critical of opportunities. And I have to say, I think you really need to limit your exposure and your time around these people. Think about it as over the next a little bit of time after this. The people that are closest to you, do you find them being critical? Or are there people that you found that are critical that you spend some time around? How do you feel about that? And my second tip would be is, as you notice this, limit your time around these people. And if you aren't, I'm not saying you have to totally push away and not spend any time with them, but I would encourage you to put up some mental and emotional guardrails about how much you allow them to speak into your life, at the very least. Put up that mental guardrail and say, nope, this person is definitely critical. They're kind of negatively bent. And protect yourself, protect your mind, protect your heart, protect your spirit against some of these critical voices in your life. All right, so just a reminder, 2 things. Get around people that you admire, have conversations with them, allow them to speak into your life. And 2, limit the exposure and conversations that you're having with people around in your life that are being critical of you. I think this will be really helpful. And what you'll find is you do that, is you allow those positive voices to speak into your life, you're going to start to change the way you think about yourself. And like we talked about before, if you change the way that you're thinking about yourself, you're going to unlock so much potential that you have inside that you didn't even know. That was my story. All right, guys. So the other thing I wanted to kind of announce to you and let you know as a tip is if you don't have a community like this, many people don't. And this is some feedback that we've been getting from the people that we're talking to. I have something really exciting for you. We're actually going to start a Facebook group, a community where we're going to pull these people in. Myself and a few others are going to be administrators, moderate the group, put content in there for you that you can be around people who are having these experiences, talk with them, engage with them, comment, and set up discussions and conversations. I am super excited for this opportunity for people to really plug into if they don't feel like they have somebody in their life locally around them. That this will be an experience that you can have where we can still have a community, a digital community, that no matter where you are, you can plug into this community and get fed with positive, encouraging content about potentially hopes and dreams that you want to accomplish in your life. So I'm excited about that. We're still going to have content, obviously, on my personal page, but it's going to be more mindset. In this group, we're going to dive in deeper to the actual business and enterprise problems, situations, details, pros and cons of what we figured out over the almost a decade of experience. we're going to get more deep into those topics. For those of you who want to dive in a little bit more into the exact how and why and what were we able to do versus the mindset training we're doing here, which we will continue to do. So like I said, I'm super excited about that. We're going to be build content over the next few weeks and make that available. If you want an early seat, kind of a sneak peek, then I would encourage you, just drop a comment below, sneak peek, and I will make sure that you get an invite and you can be into this group and kind of see what we're doing as we start to build the content around this group. All right, guys, thanks again for tuning in. I hope this is really helpful. I'm super excited for all the viewers that we're having and what we're going to be doing with that Facebook group moving forward. Like I said, let me know if you want a sneak peek into that group. I can get you an invite. Until then, hopefully this was helpful. Wishing you all but nothing but more success and significance in your life. Cheers, everybody.